And welcome to another live stream watch along reaction. Tonight we are watching and reacting to the 2024 CONCACAF Champions Cup draw. Reaccione della Sorteo della Copa de Campeones de la CONCACAF. The inaugural CONCACAF Champions Cup after the rebrand, of course. After the rebrand, of course, because it is a rebrand. But you know what we mean by that. Pots are as follows. In the round of 16 buys, we have CF Pachuca for winning, having the better record of the Liga MX champions last season. 22-23. Columbus Crew for winning the MLS Cup. Inter Miami CF for winning the Leagues Cup. El Diablo Valencia for winning the Central American Cup. And SV Robin Hood for winning the Caribbean Cup. They are in the round of 16. Round of 16-1 for Pachuca. Round of 16-2 for Robin Hood. Round of 16-4 for Ala Valencia. Round of 16-5 for Columbus Crew. Round of 16-8 for Inter Miami. The seeded preliminary teams in the pot, they're out of pot A, which they could have easily just drawn them all, but okay. All right, but okay. They seed 3 of the preliminary teams. They got Club America in A3, CF Monterrey in A9, and Tigres in A7. So 3 Mexican teams are seeded in the preliminary round. We already know where they are, even though they could have easily just drawn them because there's 11 teams each. I mean, it is what it is. So preliminary round 3 tie be Club America versus one of the pot 2 teams. Preliminary round 7 Tigres against one of the pot 2 teams, which will be drawn. Then preliminary round 9 Monterrey versus one of the drawn teams. Everybody out of pot 2 will be drawn. St. Louis and Forge are in the same pot, so hopefully they're in the same quartile. I'm sure we will. How we doing, Henry? How we doing, Rory? How we doing, Captain? Draw will start at 6, but you know there's going to be fall and BS anyway. And, by the way, the round of 16 ties are already set up. There will be no round of 16 draw by itself, because the preliminary rounds move into the round of 16 ties. So Pachuca will play the winner of preliminary round 1. Robin Hood will play the winner of preliminary round 2. 3 versus 4. Alajuelense versus preliminary round winner 5. Columbus Crew versus preliminary round winner 6. 7 versus 8. 9 versus 10. And Inter Miami plays the winner of preliminary round 11. So half of the ties are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the round of 16 ties already have a team in there. 3 don't. Man, making that bracket's going to be hell on printing your brackets, but whatever. And the tournament starts the first week of February. Hope Orlando get Forge. Forge will beat you. 904 here, repping Guatemala. So really, they're just drawing the first round, and that leads into the round of 16. Or the preliminary round. I call it preliminary round. They call it round 1. But since CONCACAF League was a thing and Forge had to go through the prelim round, I'm calling it preliminary round. That sounds better anyway. That sounds better anyway. I think people would get it. Yeah, I'll probably just stick with preliminary round on my streams anyway, because that should have been the way it was called anyway. But CONCACAF wanted to do something different. It'll be a tight battle, but I think Forge, Orlando and Forge are drawn together, qualify. They're playing each other. That means one of them can only qualify. Unless you're talking about the same quartile. And preferable. I want St. Louis and Forge to get the same quartile that's open to where they both can win their tie and they play each other. There's 3 opportunities for that. So we want Forge in preliminary round 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, or 10, and we want St. Louis in the one corresponding to that. At least that's what I want. Hong Kong All-Stars. Did you know Messi and Inter Miami will play against the Hong Kong League All-Stars in a friendly 3 days after Al Nassr and Miami friendly? Are you going to live stream it? I mean, I think we're getting close to when the Champions Cup starts, but that'll probably be in the morning anyway, so we'll see. I mean, here's the difference between the freaking Messi's still playing that game. Yes. Here's the difference, though. It doesn't have all the other stars on the other side, you know? Like, people will watch for Messi, but it'd be like that Noche d'Or. It's kind of like, oh, okay, sure. And here we go. Here's the new era of football, the Copa Campeones era. I need Vancouver to get a Stelly. How's this work again? 3 teams get a bye. 5 teams get a bye into the round of 16. That will be Pachuca, Columbus, Miami, Alajuelense, Robin Hood. There are 3 teams in the preliminary round that were seeded already into a match. That would be America, Monterrey, and Tigres. There are 8 teams to be drawn out of pot 1. 11 teams to be drawn out of pot 2. And here we go for the Champions Cup draw. Oh, so Scotiabank still is a title sponsor. Scotiabank CONCACAF Champions Cup. Yeah, it doesn't really roll off the tongue as well. I would hope so, but, you know, there's going to be some folder roll just because. But they already have Montagliani speaking. Definite bracket. The preliminary round leads into the round of 16, so there's no round of 16 draw. The preliminary round draw, the winners go into the round of 16, so we know exactly how it's going to go. So the preliminary round basically draws the round of 16. And the winner of each tie goes in. And they have all the champions of CONCACAF from 62 to 2023. From both the Champions Cup first era and the Champions League era. Well, pretty much just like how the Champions League was. Except it's not on the title, but you knew what I was trying to do. I'm surprised Scotiabank let him take the name off the tournament. Miss some, let me know. I think we'll be fine. Lol. How we doing, Ozan? Here we go. New club ecosystem. We've been part of that already. Leagues Cup finished. Miami won. Central American Cup finished. Alajuelense won. Caribbean Cup finished. Robin Hood won. In 2023, we had all 3 of those tournaments. And those are some enjoyable tournaments, by the way. Yep, Alajuelense, Robin Hood, and Miami. And a picture of Miami instead of a video. Huh, well, there you go. They all qualified a Champions Cup for the round of 16. Of course, the teams that got through but didn't win the tournament are in the preliminary round. Total distributions, 5 times the total distributions, huh? I agree, to be completely honest. CONCACAF Champions, let's put it like this. I love the CONCACAF Champions Cup. I love the CONCACAF tournaments. But the way this has gone so far has been amazing. It's been amazing. And I've loved the drama of these tournaments, but it just seems like every match now counts a lot more because of the way they've done it. I mean, it is 2-legged ties, but there were some games where it was like, yeah, this doesn't really matter. during the CONCACAF League era or whatever. Interesting. Here we go. The trophy is out. And here's the stand. Here's the stage. Fernando Palomo's hosting. Same stage they used for CONCACAF W, by the way. So maybe this will be quicker. It would be nice. Hit that like button. Let's get this one going. Let's remember the round of 16. Buys are Pachuca, Columbus, Miami, Alajuelense, and Robin Hood. You'll barely hear their names during this draw because they're already in positions and there's no draw to redraw the round of 16. They will play a preliminary round winner that is already determined if you look at the bracket. 27 clubs, 51 matches, millions of fans, and one champion. Next year, starting February. So, I love the way that CONCACAF has rebuilt their club competition ecosystem. I thought CONCACAF League was cool, but I got to say, the new system, I've been really happy with. Let's see how the Champs Cup goes, though. Here we go. And they put Champs Cup on the bottom of the trophy. I randomly stepped upon a high school football game which had 215 points total. Like you looked some up and you found it, or did you pull a G-Fed? No? Anybody get that? Okay. G-Fed. The guy who walks on the fields. The walk-on challenge? No. It's actually really talented, or not talented, but interesting. Camarena Tequila is also a title sponsor of Champions Cup. Luckily, Toronto's not in this tournament. I don't want to drink. Forge, I'm just proud of whatever they do. Because Forge, they shouldn't win this whole thing. If they go really deep, I'm really proud of them. If they just have a good match, I'm proud of them. Toronto, on the other hand, well, they would just disappoint me if they screw up. Whoever gets the bracket lined up to play against Miami, especially Latin cities, Latin American cities, will go crazy. I agree. But think about it like this. That's why it's smart Miami's playing in El Salvador in the preseason. They're being smart. It's just not out of nowhere. They're being smart because if they weren't doing that, think about it like this, right? They got to get used to going against the South or Central American crowd, even if it is a half messy crowd. They still got to get ready to go against a Central American crowd. Why not go play in El Salvador? I mean, I'd say Honduras is more hardcore, and Costa Rica is too, but it's a good way to get your feet wet. Champions Cup draw. We have round 1 into round of 16, into the quarterfinals, into semifinals, and a single-legged final. Interesting. Is he still playing there? Like, is he going to play in the Club World Cup? Home and away play for the first 4 rounds, and a single-legged final at the higher-ranked stadium on a weekend date. 27 clubs. 3 from Leagues Cup, 6 from the Central American Cup, 3 from the Caribbean Cup, 2 from the CPL, 5 from MLS, 6 from Liga MX, 1 from the Canadian Championship, and 1 from the U.S. Open Cup. We got Pachuca, Columbus, Miami, Alajuelense, Robin Hood, America, Monterrey, Tigres, Philadelphia, Toluca, Chivas, Orlando, and it didn't even stand up that long. 5 clubs are preceded in the round of 16. The champions of the Central American Cup, Alajuelense. The Caribbean Cup champions, Robin Hood. The Leagues Cup champions, Inter Miami. The MLS Cup champions, Columbus Crew. And Pachuca, the higher-ranked Liga MX champion. Home and away play. Interesting. Second leg hosting for the higher ranked side, of course, in the CONCACAF club ranking, at least in round one. Highest ranked clubs, 5 pre-seeded clubs and winners of round one matchups containing 3 pre-seeded clubs will host the second leg in the round of 16. If they make it. Quarterfinals and semifinals, the best performing clubs from each round will host the second leg, and the best performing club will host the single-legged final. On Sunday, June 2nd of 2024. And here we go. Here comes the draw. We draw the preliminary round. Pots are there already. The first week of the tournament is February 6th to 8th, February 13 to 15, February 20th to 22nd, and February 27th to 29th is round one. So I guess some teams that can play earlier, play earlier. Some teams have to play later. March is the round of 16, and then so on and so forth. Got Vancouver, Calvary, Forge, Robin Hood, Cavalier, Mocha, Alajuelense, Real Esteli, Independiente, Herediano, Comunicaciones, Saprissa, Miami, Nashville, Philadelphia Union, Pachuca, Tigres, Chivas, Toluca, Monterrey, America, Columbus Crew, Cincinnati, St. Louis City, Orlando City, New England Revolution, and Houston Dynamo as our qualified clubs to the Champions Cup. Chiano was offered $4.5 million to coach Tennessee, but he took the job at Rutgers. Well, smart, because he would have been horrible. Where will Miami be? Miami is seeded into the round of 16, playing in the final, in the round of 16-8 against preliminary round winner 11. So we'll know where they sit very soon. Hit that like button. Let's get this one going. It's a lot quicker than I thought. But we'll go over that as closer to the end. You'll see me figure out the round of 16 live. Qualified clubs, they're still pulling those up. All right. Let's get this one going. Champions Cup draw, baby. Champions Cup. La Sorteo de la Copa de Campeones de la CONCACAF. Ronda preliminar draw. Guest intros are happening. Yep. Moises Munoz, goalkeeper for America back in the day. Of course, the way to draw the preliminary round teams, they have the A1, A2, A4, so on and so forth. They're drawn by positions, teams, and then draw the position. Team is drawn, position is drawn. They start with pot 1 and pot A, then they go to pot 2 and pot B. Give us Pescadito Ruiz. It would be crazy if you called that. But I think this is about players who had big times in the Champions League / Champions Cup, not just dudes, not just cold heroes. Let's also remember already seeded in the preliminary round is Club America and A3, so they're playing the preliminary round 3 tie. Monterrey, CF Monterrey, preliminary round 9, seeded into match 9. Tigres seeded into match 7. So those seeds have already been seeded and drawn, so to speak. He didn't do anything with LA Galaxy and Champs Cup. He's more known for the MLS Cup and the kick. It's on FS2, Adam. He'll be drawing the B pots. I guess we're drawing pot B first. Well, that's that makes no sense. Well, then again, I think they did that back in the day as well. They got Diego Valeri doing the draw. Let's go! Diego Valeri clear. Yo, 904. Diego Valeri is clear. Ladero. Diego Valeri is clear. Legend. Diego Valeri is clear. Ladero. I'm surprised Rory didn't take that bait, and I was the one who took it, but okay. This is a scripted show. How many CCLs does he have? 0. So maybe it's not about who's won the CCL before. Ladero's mid, says Winvo. This is a Portland sympathizing show. They just brought out the draw helpers. And then they're going to bring out the CONCACAF Chief Football Competitions Officer, Fernandez, to help with the draw. Or oversee the draw. Of course. Ladero's the drawer. You mean Valeri? Oh, by the way, Bruce Arena is going to coach DC United next year. I want Miami to have a gauntlet path to the final. Hey, those paths are amazing, you know, kind of like when Toronto did in 2018. Did you hear Newcastle and Man United eliminated from all form European competition, no Europa League? Yep. Man United deserves it. Newcastle, I kind of feel sorry for. Or I do feel sorry for. I feel sorry for Newcastle. Mocha, they're in the second pot. They're in pot 2. See Mexico roster, what do you think about it? I mean, it's a good roster for a December camp. Like, hopefully they do well against Colombia. If I have an open day, maybe I'll cover it. I don't know. We'll see. They're reading a teleprompter. Yeah, for, of course, the draw procedures, that's probably easy to do. Not all of them have it committed to their brain like I do, which is weird because he's the freaking director of CONCACAF competition. You know what? Maybe it is scripted. Maybe it is scripted, but I have it committed to my brain. Because of course I do. Maybe I should be the freaking director of competition. Double blind system in the draw. 4 pots. Teams are in pots 1 and 2. And seeding pots are in A and B. 19 non-seeded clubs. Philly, Toluca, Chivas, Orlando, Nashville, Cincinnati Revolution, and Dynamo in pot 1. A1, A2, A4, A5, A6, A8, A10, and A11 in the A pot. B1 to B11 in pot B. Teams in pot 2, Vancouver, Saprissa, St. Louis City, CS Herediano, Comunicaciones, Independiente, Calvary, Forge, Real Steli, Mocha, and Cavalier. Cavalier's the lowest team left. 5 teams are pre-seeded the round of 16. That would be Pachuca, Columbus, Crew, Inter Miami, El Diablo Valencia, and SV Robin Hood. Aldo Valencia from winning the Central American Cup, Robin Hood from winning Caribbean Cup, Miami from Leagues Cup, Columbus from MLS Cup, Pachuca the higher seeded team who won a trophy in Liga MX in 22-23. Agua Leon's going to be a good game. I agree. The final will be on June 2nd, Sunday, June 2nd of 2024. Pachuca is slotted in the round of 16-1. Columbus Crew is seeded in round of 16-5. Miami is seeded in round of 16-8. LD Alajuelense is seeded in round of 16-4, and SV Robin Hood is seeded in round of 16-2. And if they win their tie, they'll play Pachuca, or the winner of that tie. And the highest ranked clubs in the preliminary round, America, Monterrey, Tigres are pre-seeded in round 1 into matches 3 for America, preliminary round 7 for Tigres, and preliminary round 9 for Monterrey. So preliminary round 3 for Club America, preliminary round 9 for Monterrey, and preliminary round 7 for Tigres. "19 clubs are unseeded. That'd be Philadelphia, Toluca, Chivas, Orlando, Nashville, Cincinnati. You get the point. Pot 1, Philadelphia Union, Deportivo Toluca, Chivas Guadalajara, Orlando City, Nashville, Cincinnati, New England Revolution, Houston Dynamo. Pot 1 teams will be drawn into A slots. A team will be drawn. They'll be drawn into a position in A, and they would host the second leg. That'll happen until Pot 1 and Pot A are empty. Then the Pot B teams will be drawn from Pot B1 to B11. I don't think there's any country protection. We get the point. I'm just explaining it. I know it's overblown. I get it, but that's it. There you go. So we already have 3 teams seeded into the preliminary round, and then the preliminary round ties lead into the round of 16 ties. So you'll figure that out as I figure that out. So 8 teams in Pot 1. We already have America seeded, Tigres seeded, Monterrey seeded in the preliminary round 3, 7, and 9. Pachuca, Robin Hood, Alajuelense, Columbus Crew, and Inter Miami already seeded in the round of 16. 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Or 5 and 8, I should say. Format sounds familiar. Not you say it. They're taking the Super Bowl back to freaking SoFi in 27? Ugh. It's trash. Pot 1, you got Philadelphia Union, Toluca, Chivas, Orlando City, Nashville SC, FC Cincinnati, New England Revolution, and Houston Dynamo. In Pot 2, you have Vancouver Whitecaps, Saprissa, St. Louis City SC, Herediano, Comunicaciones, Independiente, Calvary, Forge FC, Real Esteli, Mocha FC, and Cavalier FC. Of teams that have to be drawn. This started a bit quicker than I thought. Do red cards move over to next season, or do they reset? In certain competitions, yes. And we're going to start with Pot 1. Pot 1, Valeri to pull the first team. Here we go. Sorteo. Draw. Ready to start. Valeri to pull the first team. He pulls. Deportivo Toluca. Toluca is out. Toluca is out. Where will they go? Toluca's the first team out. Where will they go? The A pot, Munoz to pull the first position ball. He pulls. A2. A2 for Toluca. A2. Toluca goes into A2. Valeri to pull the next ball. 7 teams left to be drawn out of Pot 1. And 7 positions as well out of Pot A. It is FC Cincinnati. FC Cincinnati is out. Where will they get drawn? FC Cincinnati, the Supporter Shield winners in MLS this season, is why they're in the tournament. They get drawn into pot or position A10. A10 for FC Cincinnati. Preliminary round 10. The next ball to be drawn. Chivas Guadalajara. Chivas comes out of the pot. The runners up in the Clausura. Chivas pulled out of the top, out of the hat. What is their next? What is their position? Chivas goes A4. A4 for Chivas. Preliminary round 4. Preliminary round 4 is Chivas. 5 teams left to be drawn out of pot 1. Philadelphia Union, Orlando City, Nashville SC, New England Revolution, and Houston Dynamo still sitting in there. We got Houston Dynamo FC, the Open Cup champions. Where will they be drawn? The Open Cup champions. Chivas next up, A4. Well, that's where we were. Okay. So, Houston Dynamo, the Open Cup champions, will be put into position A6. A6 for Houston Dynamo. Next team to be drawn. 4 more out of pot 1. Philly, Orlando, Nashville, or New England. It is Nashville SC. Where will they be positioned? Where will they be positioned? We got A11 for Nashville SC. A11. Nashville and A11. Philadelphia, Orlando, and New England are the 3 teams left in pot 1. A1, A5, and A8. New England Revolution are out of the pot. A1, A8, or A5. That will be, it is A5 for the New England Revolution. We got Philadelphia and Orlando for A1 and A8. It is Philadelphia Union. So we know where the last place will be. Where will they go and where will Orlando go? Because that's pretty much what this decides. We got A1 for the Philadelphia Union. Of course, 3rd place in Leagues Cup. Orlando City SC will go into A8. Orlando City is out. Yep, that's supposed to be Orlando City. And Orlando City is A8. Yep, it is A8. So we have the first half of the ties already drawn. Orlando's in A8. So that is pot 1 and pot A down. On to pot 2. Pot 2, Vancouver Whitecaps FC, Saprissa, St. Louis City SC, Herediano, Comunicaciones Independiente, Calvary, Forge, Real Esteli, or Forge was in, but you get it, Mocha, Cavalier. 11 teams to be drawn. See where they go. It is Deportivo Saprissa. Deportivo Saprissa is the first team out of pot 2. It's on TUDNA as well, yes. Fox, Tubi, TUDNA, CONCACAF's YouTube channel, depending on where you are in the world. The first number out of pot B. What seed will Saprissa be going in? B1 to B11. It is B1 for Deportivo Saprissa. We got a rematch between Philadelphia and Saprissa. They've played each other before. Back in 2022. They played each other before, or it's 21. They played each other before. Mocha FC is out. Mocha FC has been drawn. The second team drawn has been Mocha. Everything but B1 is still in the position pots. Saprissa Philadelphia is a rematch. It got pretty testy the first time. Let's see what happens the second time. Hopefully I get to, it was 21. I hope I get to do more of it this time. Mocha's out of the pot. B11 for Mocha. So they're in the last spot. So it is Mocha versus Nashville. So the winner of Nashville Mocha will play Miami. Mocha FC versus Nashville SC. I think we know where that's going. So the highest spot and the lowest spot are gone. B2 to B10 are left after this team gets drawn. Comunicaciones FC, the Guatemalan side, want to play in to get in. Mocha Nashville. Nashville's going to beat Mocha. Be interesting to see, though. We got Comunicaciones out. Where will they go? B9 for Comunicaciones. B9 against Monterrey. I feel sorry for you. Next team out. Eight are left. Cavalier FC, the worst ranked team in the draw, is out for B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, B7, or B8, or B10. Where will they go? Cavalier. 7 teams are left in the draw after this. Cavalier will go B10. Cavalier versus Cincinnati. FC Cincinnati versus Cavalier FC. Cincinnati should still win that. Vancouver, St. Louis, Herediano, Independiente, Calvary, Forge, and Esteli left. Who's next? Real Esteli, the runners-up of the Central American Cup. B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, B7, or B8. Three, 4 are open. 7, 8 are both open. 9, 10 are closed. So there's 2 chances for St. Louis. B3. B3. Real Esteli versus Club America. Real Esteli FC plays America. The next team out. 6 teams left. We got St. Louis City SC, the Western Conference regular season champion, who crapped their pants during the playoffs. But St. Louis City have an MLS team and a CPL team in here. That's pretty good. Where will St. Louis go? B6. B6 against Houston Dynamo. We got an MLS versus MLS tie, St. Louis versus Houston. No country protection. And they'll have to play the winner of Columbus. The winner of that plays Columbus Crew. So Forge will not play St. Louis. I could go to St. Louis versus Crew, though. Vancouver, Herediano, Independiente, Calvary, and Forge are left. We got Hamilton Forge FC. Forge FC are been pulled or have been pulled. Where will they go? It doesn't really matter to me now. Personally, I want Orlando or the Revs or Chivas. Chivas are in some trouble. We got B4, Forge versus Chivas. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take Forge versus Chivas. I'll take it. I'll take Houston versus St. Louis. That ain't bad. I'll take it. First leg in Hamilton, second leg in Guadalajara, but, I'll take it. A little bit of possible revenge for me, too. Herediano is out. It's not bad for Forge. I don't think it is. Chivas has been at best. I think we'll be fine. I mean, we didn't do too bad against Cruz Azul a couple of years ago, too. So, I think we'll be fine. But Herediano is out. They get 5, 2, 8, or 7. It is B2 for CS Herediano. They play Toluca. B2 for CS Herediano. CS Herediano plays Toluca. Vancouver, Calvary, and Independiente. Where will we go? Or what will we get? You know, Chivas can improve before CCL. I know. Calvary FC is out. The other Canadian Premier League team, the Shield winners and the final losers. Thank you, Tristan Borges. But don't underestimate Forge, Blitzo. I wouldn't do it if I were you. And I'd say Cruz Azul are in a better spot. B8 for Calvary. B8. So it's Orlando versus Calvary. Sorry, Winvo, but I'm going to be rooting for Calvary. Got to be rooting for the CPL. No offense to you, but I got to be rooting for Calvary in that game. I'll still probably pick Orlando, though. The next team out, it's either 5 or 7. It's Vancouver Whitecaps. The Vancouver Whitecaps will either be playing New England or Tigres. Then Independiente will play the team who isn't drawn. I hope it's a rematch of Vancouver and Tigres. Let's go. Let's go. Please be 7. Please be 7. B7. There we go, baby. And that means Independiente comes out, and they're B5. So if Bob Bradley coaches the Revs, he could be embarrassed by Independiente too. I would love to see it. Independiente plays the Revs, which means PR1, Pachuca will play the winner of Philly and Saprissa. Robin Hood will play the winner of Toluca Herediano. Preliminary round 3, America versus Real Esteli. Play the winner of Chivas Forge. Alajuelense will play the winner of Revolution Independiente. All right. Columbus Crew will play the winner of Houston St. Louis in the round of 16, of course. And they're on different sides of the brackets. The St. Louis Forge is not happening. Tigres or Vancouver will play the winner of Orlando and Calvary. Preliminary round 9, Monterrey or Comunicaciones. Play the winner of Cincinnati Cavalier. Yeah, that makes sense to me. And Nashville will play Mocha, or Nashville, Mocha will play the winner of Miami. There we go. So, with that being said, we got that set up. CONCACAF did CPL dirty. No, I think we could beat Chivas. I think Forge could beat Chivas. Chivas ain't been that great. And let's remember, the last time Forge played the CCL tab, actually played pretty well against Cruz Azul. I don't think we're as got done dirty as you think. At least Forge. Calvary, Orlando could be beatable. Now, past that, Forge versus America. Oh, yeah, okay, they got done dirty. against Quinones and Martin. Okay, yeah, they got done dirty. That's true. Cavalry, two random Central or Caribbean team. Cavalier. Yeah, I'm not gonna get it. Cavalry. Why they gotta be right next to each other? Cavalry plays Tigres or Vancouver. Well, they've beaten Vancouver before. Tigres, Velko Paunovic is not leaving, but Mohamed's leaving Pumas. Well, Pumas won in this draw anyway. So, there you go. With that being said, our prelim round ties. Prelim round 1, we got Philadelphia Union versus Saprissa. Preliminary round 2, Toluca FC versus CS Herediano. Preliminary round 3, Club America versus Real Esteli FC, who've been somewhat good. Yeah. We got Chivas Forge in preliminary round 4, New England Revolution versus Independiente. If Bob Bradley gets that damn job, I hope he gets embarrassed by Independiente. I pray. That would be hilarious. If it happened to us, I hope it happens to him. Preliminary round 7. Tigres, I know he won the manager back then. You get my point, though. There was no country protection because there's so many MLS teams. And technically, Houston got in through Open Cup, but that's not like that mattered before anyway. But no country protection, so many MLS teams. So, it doesn't matter, but it is what it is. Houston versus St. Louis City, which I may go see that. I don't know. I may go see that. I pray. It could happen, though, but I pray. I'm going to be rooting for it. Trust me. I mean, they did play well against Cruz Azul. It used to be there was country protection in CCL, but there's so many MLS teams that technically, and U.S. Open Cup and MLS Cup, or MLS season, they didn't come from Leagues Cup, so technically, it's weird. There's so many MLS teams that, and if Mexico was the same way for Mexico, it would be the same way. Are we going to be enemies for a while? We are the Forge, the mighty, mighty Forge. I just don't think you understand. I think that was a chant at some point. Whatever. Tigres UANL versus Vancouver Whitecaps FC. Orlando City SC versus Calvary FC in the preliminary round 8. CF Monterrey versus Comunicaciones FC. Preliminary round 10. FC Cincinnati versus Cavalier FC. Preliminary round 11. Nashville SC versus Mocha FC. That leads into the round of 16 ties. CF Pachuca plays the winner of preliminary round 1 and round of 16-1, which would be Philadelphia or Saprissa, and they host the second leg. SV Robin Hood will play the winner of preliminary round 2, Toluca or CS Herediano. Robin Hood would host the second leg. They got lucky for that. Oh, hey, look, on FS2, there's a classic NASCAR race. I bet Winvo's watching that too. No judging. I'm just saying. Preliminary round 3, America versus Real Esteli plays the winner of preliminary round 4, Chivas or Forge. America would host the second leg, or Esteli would host the second leg, depending on who wins. If it's America, they would, I guess Esteli would still host that leg if they were to pull the upset. Second leg. El Alajuelense plays the winner of preliminary round 5, New England versus Independiente. Alajuelense would host the second leg. Columbus Crew plays the winner of preliminary round 6, Houston or St. Louis. Columbus hosts the second leg. I would definitely go to the first leg of that, though, because I still said I was going to go to a St. Louis CCL game, so there you go. Preliminary round 7. Tigres versus Vancouver Whitecaps play preliminary round 8. Orlando City Cavalry. The winner of Orlando Cavalry, Vancouver Tigres would host that round, the second leg. Preliminary round 9, Monterrey or Comunicaciones would play the winner of Cincinnati or Cavalier. Monterrey or Comunicaciones would host that second leg. And then finally, Inter Miami CF would play the winner of Nashville and Mocha. Miami hosts the second leg. Then from there, you would get Pachuca. That tie would face the winner of Robin Hood Pachuca, or Robin Hood's tie. Preliminary round 3 would play the winner of Alajuelense's tie. So it'd be Alajuelense, Chivas or America versus Alajuelense or New England / Independiente, or maybe Forge. Who knows? Columbus Crew tie plays the winner of 7 in the quarters. Preliminary round 9 plays the winner of Miami. Then, of course, boom, semifinal. St. Louis and Forge could play in the final. Not that it would happen, though. And besides, I don't know if St. Louis would host that game. But there you go. There's the draw. And we'll make a video recapping it. I'm not making predictions till February. I'm not doing that, and you know it. I pray. I don't know. I like the Canada gold leaf hat. I really like that hat. With that being said, there you go. With that being said, if you like the stream, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribe. Send super chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. But it's a play. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. We'll see you within the hour for the recap of the draw. No predictions till February. I may give away some early predictions, though. Who am I kidding? I do that all the time. So, see you within the hour for the recap. And there you go. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. Let's go. Tournament starts in February. Early February, by the way. So there you go. Pretty much only 2 months from now. Less than 2 months from now. Just over a month. Like I said, see you then. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace.